Peace and blessings, family. What's up with all the daydreamers out there? Please live it. Don't sleep through this thing. Welcome back to another episode of Coffee Mugs and Conversations. Let's get into this conversation, ladies and gentlemen, shall we? So I had the opportunity to sit down with my son, my oldest, and we kind of talked about the Brittney Griner situation that's going on, and I was also fortunate enough that my youngest son, his brother, was in the room with us as this conversation was being had. If you don't know what's going on with Brittney Griner is a WNBA player who is currently being detained in Russia on smuggling charges that she has currently pleaded guilty to. When the war between Russia and Ukraine, when Russia invaded Ukraine, when that occurred, everybody that was over there was trying to make it home, and Brittney Griner was over there, if I'm correct, playing for the Russian basketball team. And everything. And she was trying to, like everybody else, to come home, to get out of that area, to get away from there and make it home safe, right? And as she was going through customs said that they found cannabis oil in her bag, and it was enough for her to be charged with smuggling, which caused her to be detained in Russia and not to be able to make it back home. When the word got back to America that Brittney Griner was being detained on the charges of smuggling for cannabis oil, it became a huge uproar amongst the American citizens, or some of the American citizens. I won't say all of them, man, but it became a huge thing that I saw up and down my timeline in regards to her being detained. People were calling for our government to get involved and do something to get her home, a prisoner swap, something, but get her home was the objective of the rallying call and everything like that. And my son, as we were sitting down and he was filling out some applications, he ended up saying to me, because I was going over something in regards to this very topic, he said, "Dad, I get it. I understand she broke the law, but come on, Dad, it's cannabis oil. And for her to be there that long on cannabis oil and to be facing 10 years, Dad, for cannabis oil, that ain't right, Dad. That just ain't right." And I had to sit there and think about it for a second, man, because, you know, your first instinct is to say, well, she just broke the law, right? And leave it at that. But in the mind of a lot of us, and especially this younger generation, man, they're coming up looking at, does the punishment fit the action? And oftentimes many of us have thought that, right? Including my generation. And let's be 100. Anybody that's in Brittney Griner's situation, and anybody that has ever been in a situation where they have been face to face with the legal system in some capacity, whether it's sitting in front of the judge, sitting in front of a police officer, being pulled over by the road, however it might be, you're hoping for the best scenario and situation, right? And even in her situation where she's now being detained, having to go through the court proceedings and everything like that, in your mind, you're like, I'm hoping for the best. I hope that I hope to be found innocent, but if I am found guilty, I hope that I don't have to serve time in anybody's prison and then I get to serve time at home. Okay, if I do have to serve time in prison, I hope it's at the bare minimum, man, or they treat me sitting here as time served onto the sentence, which reduces it. Like, you're really actually going through the scenarios in your mind, hoping for the actual best and everything like that, man. Like, it's in mind, bring it down a notch for us to kind of understand, because not everybody has sat in front of a court looking at the judge face to face. I know what that feels like. It's not a fun feeling, and you're actually sitting there hoping for the best, but no different than the individual who's sitting there in their car for speeding, and you're sitting there like, man, I hope this officer gives me a pass as he's approaching your car. I really hope he gives me a pass and lets me off with a warning. Everybody who's faced the judicial system, whether it's inside a courtroom, outside a courtroom, with whatever level of law enforcement, judicial, official, or however you might want to put it, we've all hoped and best for. We all hoped for the better outcome, even if we know that we're guilty. We've all done that. I hope for the better outcome. And I told my son, I said, I get it, son. I get it. I said, but I want you to think about this. And I walked my son through this. I said, I want you to think about this, son. You know my past, son. I said, let's say, for instance, I get a homeboy call me on the phone and everything like that. And times is hard right now, right? Because times are actually tight, right? Me and my wife, we're trying to figure out some things to make sure that the house can continue to move. And there are other things that are going on and factors that money is going to take to continue to keep things going. And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But either way you go, we got to figure it out. So let's say, for instance, if I had a homeboy hit me up, man, on some stuff, man, he was like, yo, man, I got a package that we want to get moved, and the block is hot. We got too much heat on us. We know you know the game, but you've been out of the game for like 20 plus years, bruh. You know what I'm saying? So we need you to help us out in this situation, bruh. And just take just take these 2 ounces down the street for us, man. It ain't nothing but some cannabis. So we ain't asking you to take no hard. We ain't asking you to take no white. We ain't asking you to take nothing heavy, man. We just saying take 2 ounces of this cannabis, of this weed, and I want you to take it on down the street for us, bruh, and we'll cut you in on some stuff, man. And I'm thinking in my head, times is hard. This is how I'm breaking this down to my son. I said, times is hard, man. I can use that bread, man. But I also know moving 2 ounces of weed, whether it's 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, 4 miles, 50 miles, whether it's 180 miles, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, here in Georgia, that's illegal. So I I answer back and I say, you know what? I'll do it. And I take those 2 ounces with me. And as I'm driving down the street, son, I get pulled over by the police. And they search my car. And after they search my car, they take me down to jail because now I'm arrested for possession and attempt to distribute because of the amount that I have, son. I said, whose fault is it, son, that I'm ending up downtown, locked up, now having to await a court date and possibly going to be serving time for possession and attempt to distribute? I said, is it the police officer's fault who pulled me over? He was like, nah, Dad, it's not the police officer's fault. I said, it's the judge's fault that I'm about to be. He said, nah, Dad, it's not the judge's fault either. I said, well, whose fault is it, son? My son looked at me and he said, it's your fault because you knew. I said, exactly, son. I get it how you might feel about Brittney Griner's situation. And trust me, I think many of us hope for the best for individuals because at the end of the day, while I don't agree with the use of marijuana or cannabis, boy, especially in the aspect, I think that is the most disrespectfully used so-called organic plant ever on the place of the earth. We have literally raped, pillaged, and plundered the use of that resource. And yes, I'm calling it a resource, right? Because it can be used for certain things, but we have literally disrespected and trampled upon it. I get it. Nobody's in their mind like 10 years for that. But son, she knew the game she was playing, and you cannot tell me no otherwise. If you're going to play the game of wanting to be involved in that type of lifestyle where you're using it, whether it is actually for your health and your well-being, for your mental health, or however you might be using it, or whether it's for recreational, understand that not all laws are created equal around this thing. So it will behoove you to play the game smart. I said, son, I get it, but she's locked up because she broke the law. And then I went even further to tell my son this. I said, her getting caught with cannabis oil is not because she was black. Her getting caught with cannabis oil is not because she was a female. Her being caught with cannabis oil is not because she's part of the LGBTQA plus community, as some people are stating. Has nothing to do with and I said it like this, has nothing to do with the triple trifecta of oppression. Has absolutely nothing to do with it. Her getting caught with cannabis oil has nothing to do with her making $250,000 a year doing what she loves to do, while many of ball players at the park right now won't make it to that status. I said, son, she makes $250,000 a year doing what she likes. Her getting caught with cannabis oil is not because she decided to play for the Russians. Her getting caught with cannabis oil is because she had cannabis oil, son. Then I told my son this. I said, son, you got to remember, we're always talking about how cannabis and weed and all this other stuff it's not harmful. You know, so whether you're using it from the actual plant itself, smoking it, or whether you're using it as an oil. I said, son, remember, it's not harmful. I said, but right now in her situation, it's harmed her. I said, son, right now in her situation, it's harmed her. And he kind of looked at me and I said, let me explain it, son. I said, son, think about it, man. She could have waited. I said, there's a lot of states in America where cannabis oil is legal, where the use of marijuana, whether using it as a plant or oil, it is legal now in America in multiple states. I said, son, she couldn't wait. I said, that Russian smoke was so good, she couldn't wait To get over to America, to a state where it's legal, she couldn't wait to get to Colorado. She couldn't wait. She couldn't wait. She couldn't say, okay, even if you're using it while you're over there, dump it out, make it through customs and make it home safe. And then I talked to him and I told him, I said, son, I want you to think about this. Know who you're hanging with and what you're getting into. And be ready to accept the consequences of the action. And I said, son, if you're willing to, if in your mind you're like, you know what I'm saying, you want to pledge allegiance to the weed committee, and you want to be down to smoke and everything like that, knowing that it's illegal in Georgia, if you get caught with it in Georgia and you get locked up, I'm not going to sit there and say, son, man, they got you, man. They got another black man. They brought another black man down the system, that they're oppressing you. No, you are locked up because you decided to have this on you, knowing it's illegal in this state. That's on you to eat. You ride that beef. You deal with those charges. I'm still going to always be here for you to help you through it, son. But you got to ride that beef and you got to deal with those charges. Because guess what? Not everybody that you run with is willing to take the fall for you all. And at the end of the day, I said this. This was the last thing I said to my son. And I think it like really punched him in his chest when I said this, but this is a reality check that I think we need to start giving to our children. And I told my son, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. It sounds like it's a really heartless saying. You play stupid games, you win. How mean and cruel can you be? What if it was you? Now, I already said at the beginning, we all hope for the best in those situations. I have been there. But when I have been there in front of the judge, because guess what? I played a stupid game and I won a stupid prize. I said, son, let's go back to the example of me trafficking 2 ounces of weed for my homeboy because times is hard. I knew the game. I know the prize. And I'm not talking about the prize of successfully making it, coming back home, and now being able to split whatever money they give me. And trust me, 2 ounces ain't nothing. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where the situation comes in. I know the game I'm playing. I know the prize. It's a stupid game because the prize is stupid. I'm going to say it like that. Because the prize is stupid. Because the prize is me losing my freedom. The prize is being told what to do 24 hours, 365 days out of the year. Because the prize is me having to eat food that I don't want to eat, being a most heightened sense of fear of being violated. The prize is stupid. So therefore, the game to be played to win the prize is stupid. Why would you want to play a stupid game and win a stupid prize when you can just leave it alone and be smart? And I'm not talking about smart and outplaying the system, because the prison is filled with individuals who thought they was outplaying the system, but they're locked up. What's my point? If you're taking this as an opportunity to teach victimhood to your children, you're doing them an injustice. You're doing them a disservice. If you yourself is using this situation to raise awareness of victimhood, you're not helping anything. You're not. Again, Brittney Griner is locked up, being detained over there in Russia, not because she's black, not because she's part of the LGBTQA+ community, and definitely not because she's a woman. She's over there because she had cannabis oil in her bag. Period. Do I hope and wish the best for her? Yes, but I am not about to tell my children otherwise, simply because society itself is now on this cliff, and they're jumping off saying accountability doesn't matter anymore. No matter how you feel about cannabis oil, hemp oil, whatever you want to call it, the plant itself, no matter what you want to think about it, and no matter how ill feelings you have towards the law in regards to it, if you break the law, and we are all, and I say this knowing, we are all one bad decision away from doing 25 with an L. We are all, and that's something else I told my son. I said, be cautious. We are all one bad decision away from serving 25 with an L. Every last one of us. None of us are innocent in the regards of how we think and how we react. For many of us, we just haven't gotten caught yet. For a lot of us, guess what? We just haven't been pushed to that limit yet. So every man take heed lest he fall. But when you fall, know that you falling was not because of the system tripping you up. More than likely, it's because of a decision you made knowing the rules to the game. You just wanted to play it. That's all I got to say, man. I hope you guys have a blessed one, man. Let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section, man. Y'all be safe out there, man. This your boy Sleep. Peace.